The iconic Sunshine Cleaners building at Northwest 1st and Classen in Oklahoma City sat abandoned with everything still left inside since the 1980s. From rusting industrial washers to molding carts, the interior fell into disrepair due to the previous owner's decision to dismantle the roof.
And the guy who was going to buy it said, well, I'll pay you less because I'm going to have to tear your roof off. So the guy, in thinking that he would increase his sell price, he went and actually tore the roof off of his own building, thinking that he would, be able to close and make a little bit more money, and the buyer walked.
After the failed attempt at selling the building, this structure lost its shine, housing only transients and Mother Nature. But in its heyday, this structure used to light up the town. In the late 1920s, Sunshine Cleaners opened its doors for business, and like many industrial cleaners at the time, it boasted amenities such as a large facility with a convenient drive-through drop-off and pickup, but one of the standout features of the building itself was its brilliant neon sign.
The sun rays would emanate out and flash out, and as a kid I always remembered seeing it and driving by and just thought that sign was kind of a beacon almost to this part of town. And that was an important thing because there was a cleaners on every corner.
In competing with many neighboring cleaners, Sunshine's marketing and location brought in business for many years, but slowed tremendously with the rise of household washing machines in the 1950s. By 1986, they were no longer able to hold on, and the sign lit up for the last time. That is until 2015, when the Pivot Project purchased the building. With their tenant and co-owner Joel Irby, they put together a brilliant plan to utilize the industrial open space for a brewery.
We've got a roof now, which is nice. The main thing that made this place really usable and great for a brewery is the high ceiling. There were certain changes we did have to make, but as far as the exterior of the building, we wanted to change as little as possible just because it's so cool right now. And the sign, the same thing. I mean, it was never even a thought to not restoring the sign. I mean, that's like the most iconic part of this building.
The night they turned the sign on the first time after its restoration, I mean, I actually drove into town just to go see that.
Joel ended up doing his whole branding off of the sign. This is all original. Over here is where the cars would pull in, and they would actually drop their laundry through the windows. We're in the process of just talking about that neon kind of being the beacon to really pulling people even farther in to the west side of downtown, and so we hope that continues.
In their tap room, you'll find everything from massive barrel-aged stouts to aromatic haze IPAs and to what locals describe as the best light lager in Oklahoma.
And in these fermenters that you're seeing right here, we're adding the yeast, and the yeast are what's actually turning that sugar water into beer.
But no matter the style, each beer receives the same devotion to quality and consistency. Stonecloud's innovation is obvious in the hundreds of unique beers they have developed in their relatively short experience.
And so from the fermenters, from the big conical vessels, it gets pumped into this bright tank, and the bright tank is where we are clarifying and carbonating the beer.
They are particularly proud of the extensive lagering program and their work with the barrel and wood aging. Because of the Pivot Project, the old Sunshine Cleaners sign once again lit up the corner of Northwest 1st and Classen.
The building itself does not have to have had some historic event occur in it. It's still a historic building that deserves to be saved, I think, and used. It's part of what we were, and what we were somewhat controls what we are.
Just because a building is abandoned doesn't mean it's the end of the story. To hear more stories about historic abandoned buildings, visit abandonedatlas.com. And to learn more about the companies that saved this building, visit pivotproject.com and stonecloudbrewing.com.